Minister Hanafin, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here this morning to welcome you to the Science Gallery to celebrate this document here, the Science Gallery Annual Review for 2009, and also to mark really the success story that the Science Gallery has proven to be, not just for Trinity, but for the city, for the country, and increasingly also the Science Gallery is being recognised as a success at international level. I would also like to thank the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Sport, Mary Hanafin, for being here today. It's a clear acknowledgement that the Science Gallery plays an important role in the art and tourism landscape in Ireland. Trinity College is proud to be the instigator of this exciting project, the exciting project that the Science Gallery has proven to be, and the college will continue to support it as it grows from strength to strength.
Scientists like experiments, and the Science Gallery is an experiment. It's an experiment that's been running now for just over 2 years, and it's an experiment in a university connecting with a city, and also in science interacting with art. We've had some exciting early results. We received recently a special commendation from the European Museum of the Year for innovation in the museum sector in Finland. And we also, just last week, we received the notification that we'd won the first ever European call for projects bridging art and science. But really, the most important results of the Science Gallery are not about the number of people that come through the door or the awards. The most important thing is about how Science Gallery can transform people's lives, their perceptions of science, their sense of their own creativity and their ability to apply their imaginations. So now, without further ado, I would like to invite our honoured guest, Minister Mary Hanafin, to officially launch the Science Gallery's 2009 Annual Review. Thank you. Minister.
Thank you very much. I think what has been said in the video speaks for itself, the whole success of the Science Gallery. So Vice Provost and Michael John and Chairman Chris Horn on review show, launch all. You need only look at the first couple of pages when you see the numbers that you realise the success. In fact, there's two sets of numbers that would interest any minister. In the front couple of pages, it talks about the numbers of visitors, numbers of exhibitions, amount of advertising, number of posters, etc. And at the back page, if you look very carefully, you see a surplus. Every government minister loves to see a financial surplus, right? Having started from a deficit, having started off with something new, and those little brackets had disappeared by last year. So we wish you well in continuing with that as well. But that's not the important feature of this. What is the important feature of the Science Gallery is literally what has been said. It's those glass windows, really. It is opening out the college, the university, into the street, into the city of Dublin, and it's welcoming in all of those young people who actually do take an interest in science, but I'm not sure we always encourage them enough in the right ways to do it. And any time I've been here, it always strikes me, this is like a permanent Young Scientist exhibition. Because if you go to the Young Scientist exhibition at the beginning of the year, and there's an energy and an enthusiasm and an interest of young people of all ages who just want to learn and want to share and want to grow and want to experiment, and they come in here and do it all year round. And that really is the essence of what it is. And the age group that it's targeting as well. I'm not sure from the video whether you're only getting that age group. I think certainly not. It seems to be going from very young right up to people as old as me and beyond it. But it's great to see that everybody has an interest, but particularly that 15 to 25-year-old, because they're the people we lose all the time. Young people are coming out of primary school having tasted science, having tasted experiments, and are full of that energy and willingness to learn. And then whatever we do in secondary school, it just doesn't develop after that. And with the best will in the world and new courses and new investment, it is a major challenge. It's not just a challenge for us in Ireland, it is a challenge throughout the whole of the Western world. And I'm going to tell my Bill Gates story again because I think it's very relevant here today. And my Bill Gates story is that at the Microsoft Global Leaders Conference, which I spoke at as Minister for Education, in speaking to Bill Gates, I said to him, "What do you want of graduates of the future?" And he said, well, obviously, he said, I want the top computer and technology graduates, he said. But it's hard to get that in the Western world. He said, it's very hard to get it in Europe or the Western world. He said, I'll get that in Asia. You're very welcome, Professor. Nice to have you here. All right? But he said, I also need, and this is the key, he said, I also need business and marketing and creativity, he said, and you have that. And that is actually true, because we have those skills and talents that make us adaptable. And what this science gallery does, it brings together that creativity and the science. It brings together the imagination and the innovation and the technology. It brings together the interest in learning, and it brings the learning. And when you combine that, you realize that this is exactly what is needed for the Ireland of the future. And I'm glad it's not called a museum, but it is in the centre of an area which is surrounded by museums and galleries. And when you think, what do they represent and what do they reflect? Our Natural History Museum has children enthralled by prehistoric dinosaurs, even though there's no dinosaur there, but they imagine there is. Our museum celebrating our gold or our past history or our Celts or whatever. Our National Gallery, which will take us into the present day artists. And this takes the next step and it brings you into the future. And it brings you into the future of science and learning and the type of world which is developing out there and which we need to be a part of. But it does it in a way that is so real and so hands-on. And the reason it is such is because of the imagination of people like Michael John, of Trinity College, which has opened up its doors, of people like Chris Horn, who give so willingly of their time, and of the whole board. And particularly, could I say, the students. Because the students, with no disrespect to any of the rest of us, being young and being actively involved as learners themselves, know what it is like to be able to share. And we saw them there talking about what they have gained. And as one said to me there now, she said, talking to young people and talking to visitors beats dealing with pipettes and mice and labs or whatever. And that I'm really glad to hear. All right? But they give so much as well. Because they give their knowledge and they give their understanding, and they feed into that sense of curiosity. And it's wonderful that they're there to do that. And that's a great contribution by the students of Trinity College to the city and to young people. So it's not all about, as I said, the figures at the front, about the 691 bottles of fairy liquid. I mean, you know that ad they're running at the moment where it goes through the generations of women using fairy liquid? You could be their next ad, you know? With millions and millions of bubbles, you know, or the 1,900 kisses growing during infectious. So whatever it is, there's something for everybody in this gallery. And that's why I believe that you've recognised, and our friends are here from Singapore, it is something that we can now export as an idea. And after only 2 years to have developed this gallery to such an extent that it has won international acclaim, that it has won awards, and that now that there is international interest in it, is a huge tribute and a huge credit to everybody who is involved here. Because it is a rare event that can combine, as I said, that imagination, innovation, creativity and science, and to do it in a way that feeds into the interest and curiosity of the ordinary public, and yet what you're dealing with is the best of scholarship. So we'll look forward to future cooperation with Singapore, and I'm sure with very many other countries. Particularly, as being said, the European City of Culture 2012. I still remember the BA Festival of Science, which took place here in Trinity 1 July, which attracted thousands of visitors into Trinity. And again, it just showed what can be done. I know I myself fell out of a molecule. Right? Now, only I could fall out of a molecule. But again, it was very interactive, and I think that's what we'll have to do for the European City of Science as well. It can't be just a showcase. Yes, this is a country that attracts 10 of the top 15 high-tech countries in the world, people who come here to use it as our European base. Just did an interview there now, and they said the technology industry is in trouble. No, it's not. People are actually coming to Ireland because of our well-educated graduates, because they recognise the skills and talents that are here. And this and the Year of Science will help us to showcase that, but it'll help us to do it in an interactive way and in an imaginative way. And hopefully over the next few days, Dublin will be declared a UNESCO City of Culture, of literature as well. So there's so many opportunities to be able to link in, to showcase the best of who we are. And at a time like this, in launching this review, in paying full tribute to absolutely everybody who has been involved for the first 2 years, I don't believe anybody could foresee, other than, of course, the government, who knew that by investing in this, we were going to get this kind of view. But I don't think anybody could have foreseen the impact it was going to have and the success it was going to be in such a short time. But I have no doubt that this will continue to grow. Will continue to break down the barriers at all different levels to be able to show yet again some of the things that Ireland is really, really good at. What we're really good at is what's happening here. And these are the type of things that we should be talking about, we should be showcasing, and not perhaps focusing so much on the negatives, because this is about the positive, this is about the young people of Ireland, and this is about our future. So well done to everybody. Good night, Livers Gormagov.
I really love being in the gallery. People are coming in and talking to them. They say, what are you doing, what you're working on? And they ask questions in ways that I haven't framed them myself, so it just helps my research in a certain way. It helps my students because they get excited again when they see everybody else being excited about their work. I enjoy the interaction and kind of sharing, I suppose, my enjoyment and my enthusiasm. It's ended up being a really great experience.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I came to work in the Science Gallery as a mediator, and it just sparked off the love of science again and made me remember why I'd started, why I'd done it in the first place. I think what's nice about the Science Gallery is that it can inspire people. So very often as a mediator you see people walk in and maybe they wouldn't be interested or they wouldn't understand, and they leave with this genuine feeling of inspiration. They really feel like what you've told them is important, and it's something that they'll remember for the rest of their lives, I think.
Invited 40 students from all over the country to come in and actually sit down together with education stakeholders and to think about how they would like their school to look like in the 21st century, to imagine if they could actually design their curriculum, what would it look like, what systems do they want to have in place for learning.
Like, I find sitting in the group in there just discussing it makes it a lot easier, it makes you find out a lot more than you think you did.
Just meeting everyone and seeing this place, it's really inspiring, really, to be honest.
Every place needs a home. So GAA has Crow Park, and football has Aviva and this kind of thing. So Robotics Club needed a home, and we have this. Our home is the Science Gallery. And people can come in from all sorts of backgrounds. So it's not only science people, it's artsy people, creative people of all kinds. They come to one room and you just make things for 2 hours.
To be honest, the Science Gallery has kind of changed my life in a strange kind of way, because it really allowed me to engage with the general public. And we ran an experiment here all through infectious, got loads of samples off the Irish population and examined their immune systems in great detail. That was a great thrill. I think nobody else in the world had been able to do that.
The future Science Gallery, I don't know what it is, and that's part of the excitement. I think one of the great things about Science Gallery is how unpredictable it is, and how every time succeed in surprising me with the way you do things. So I don't know what it is, and I'm happy that way.
As I said, to me the Science Gallery is the most exciting development in Trinity, maybe even in Ireland for science, because it brings together all these interesting people. It's got a crossover between the arts and the sciences, which is wonderfully thrilling, really. And I can see it just going from strength to strength.